First of all, a little introduction about what social media is, main features and different types of social media, and then the reasons for being on social media. I'm going to give you some figures about surveys that have been done about the recruitment on social media and its potential. And then how can social media boost your job search with the sentence that I use, which is not mine, to explain you about the difference between eagles and chickens. Then we'll go deeply on the subject, and I'll speak about how to improve your online identity and how to build up your personal branding. When I say personal branding, I understand that is the marketing action that you can make about yourself, your career profile, and your skills and competences. And then through this last point, I'll give you at the same time some tips and advices for your job search. So I would like to make a little poll before continuing, just to know which is your level of handling social media. I'm going to try to make it. We are not that much, but just to have an idea and try to adapt the presentation to the level, to the participants' level. Okay, let me look for it. Yeah, I cannot find it. No problem. I'll continue the presentation. I assume that you have a medium level, most of you. Just if you have any questions through the presentation, you can just write them down on the chat if you are afraid to forget about the question, and then I'll go through them, or if not, we'll make a questions round at the end of the presentation. So the definition that we can find of social media in Wikipedia is computer-mediated tools that allowed you to create and share information, ideas, documents in virtual communities or networks, which is the main point of social media. The main features are that social media are based on internet applications. The content that we can find on it is user generated, and it is profile based, means that if you want to make use of these tools, you have to create your profile, and then you can make connections and so build your community and begin to interact, exchange, and share. We can find different types of social media, even though these different types are kind of mixed. Some of social media tools that we can find actually can be classified in different types, and it is a very highly evolutive world. So just this is in order to illustrate some of the main types, and I will stress the importance of some of them for your job search. So the most known ones are social networks, professional and personal, where you create your profile and you can interact with others' profile. The most known ones are Facebook or LinkedIn for the professional world. Then you have media sharing tools for documents, images, etc., where you upload your content and then you share it, and you can get feedback from your community. So for the videos, for example, you can find YouTube, Flickr for pictures, SlideShare for your slide shows, and then bookmarking sites, which I found very interesting for your job search. These tools help you during your search on the internet to tag your links and then make them easily accessible afterwards. So these tools help you to classify your best links. So some of the tools are Peltries or Delicious. Then you have microblogging, which is a tool to publish very short updates or messages. The most known one is Twitter, and then you have a big amount of blogs and forums where you can hold conversations with people which have the same interest as you have, or where you can share your views about a subject into an article way, which is a blog post indeed, and then get the feedback from your audience. These different types of social media, I think that they are helping to develop other things that are useful that might be useful for your professional life, like for example online collaborative work. I think that the use of these tools can help you much when you are expected to work with people that are in remote positions that don't work with you in the same place. Social media can facilitate this kind of job, and then I think that they are also contributing to emerge a different kind of economy. I have used the French terminology, which is économie collaborative, because I don't know if in English we can use the same word, means collaborative economy. Social media is helping people that are questioning themselves about the way they consume. For example, the way they eat. Do they eat products issued from organic farming or not? Different ways of making tourism, like Airbnb. This kind of movement is being helped by these tools. Then some figures that I hope that will help you to understand the reasons for being in social media. All the references of my presentation will be available in the last 2 slides. So excuse me for not having written down on each slide. It was just a kind for making some economy of space. So in this slide, what I wanted to stress is that recruiters are much more aware about the potential of using social media to get the best candidate than job seekers are aware about the potential of social media for getting the best job position. For example, 94% of recruiters are actively using LinkedIn, and in the other hand, only 36% of job seekers are using LinkedIn for their job search. So I think that there is a huge improvement to be done on the side of job seekers on the use of social media in the job search. Another important point of this slide is that job seekers are using mainly Facebook for the job search, and what we can see is that Facebook is not the good channel because only 65% of recruiters are using it indeed. So and then Twitter, which is used 50-50 for recruiters and job seekers. So main point, an improvement to be done for using social media, but with the using the good channel, which is not, which seems not to be Facebook, but mostly LinkedIn. In this in this other slide, I wanted to stress that this job seeking through social media and recruitment through social media is something which is evolving very fast since the last 5 years at least, which is the time that I've been observing this world. And a survey, a fact that makes me say this is that a survey done in 2014 shows that recruiters are planning to improve their presence on social networks at the level of 63% of them. That means that when we ask recruiters about the improvement that they want to do on their strategy for getting the best candidates, the first tool that they want to improve is their presence and their use of social networks. So job seekers, be aware of that. Recruiters will be there, much more present and much more active. So they are waiting for you. Then another again, which is the best channel to make the match with recruiters. It is, we can find mainly the same figures of the previous slide, but we see that LinkedIn is the first tool used by recruiters, then Facebook, and then Twitter. But these different channels are used with different objectives. And this is in this slide I wanted to show you how you can, with which objective you should use each of these tools. Recruiters answer that they will mainly use LinkedIn for almost each and every stage of the recruitment process. But what interests you as a job seeker is to know that the recruiters use LinkedIn for identifying, for getting a better view of candidates before getting them to an interview. Then Facebook, it is also going to be used in different stages. What interests you is to know that recruiters use it also to have a better view of candidates that have been already interviewed. Means that the candidate have been selected, the interview has been done, but then recruiters are going to look further and deeper and go to see the Facebook profile of the candidate. And then Twitter is mainly being used for to showcase the employer's brand. This point is interesting for you because if you have been selected for having an interview with your employer, you might find very interesting information through LinkedIn. You can go and analyze the different showcases that this employer is publishing through Twitter, and then this will give you a better knowledge of your employer that will be very helpful for you during your job interview. So, for me, using social media in your job search will help you to better handle what Google will find about you. Because even if your recruiter is someone that is not keen on social media, he might, I am sure he will do it, he will Google you. And you must know that these channels, these interactive channels, these social media, are much more easily findable by Google than other internet websites that are much more inactive indeed. So maybe you have published a very interesting article in an international conference, and maybe we can find it in the website of this international conference, but that website is going to be much more what can I say, quiet than social media. And if we Google you, we might find much more easily your Facebook profile than this article. So the objective of using social media is to make social media work for you. So if you have published this article in this international conference, put it on and write it down in your LinkedIn profile. Make some noise about it on Twitter, publish it on and share it through Facebook, and in this way social media will work for you, and Google will find the information that you want to share with employers about you. Because otherwise what can happen is that if you might have been selected for an interview, and then when you arrive there, you find that the recruiter have done some research on the internet and find some not very interesting information about you on Facebook, and then reconsider your application. And so this, maybe you don't you didn't believe about this, but in the same survey, the fact that was found is that 55% of recruiters reconsider a candidate after having a look on their social profile, and in 61% of the cases that reconsideration is in a negative way. So I hope that after following this webinar, you're going to help recruiters to see you in an even more positive way after having a look to your social media profiles. Then, how can social media boost your job search? For me, the first main point is that you are going to be able to find and explore possibilities. Means that if you are using Google for making your job search, you are just going to surf the web, so you are going to be in the surface. If you use social media, you're going to be able to go deeper into the sea, and so scuba dive or snorkeling, and that is going to help you to find unexplored possibilities that are not being used by the main job seekers. The second point is that social media will help you to make yourself different. Means that you are a young graduate, you have a master degree, but in your batch you were 30, having obtained the same master degree, having done more or less the same internships. You can make yourself different if you use social media to improve, to stress, for example, other engagements out of your academic life, and if you have a very well constructed profile. But for me, the difference between eagles and chickens is that I hope that after this presentation you will understand that social media are the means that will help you in your job search, and not the objective of your job search. I hope that after this presentation you might improve your LinkedIn profile, or you might work a little bit deeper on your Twitter account. But I hope that you will also understand that you will use them into your job search, and that they are not the reason why for your job search. So now, how to improve your online identity and how to build your personal branding. I'm going to start with LinkedIn. I guess that most of you have already done a LinkedIn profile. So the first step is to create your profile and then to establish privacy settings and the language that you are going to choose for your LinkedIn profile. I mean, for establishing the privacy settings, the main point that the main question that you have to ask yourself is, who do I want to see my updates, for example, on my profile? This parameter, you can find it when you go to the edit mode and you click into view profile as. This is the first arrow that you have into your left hand, and into your right hand there you can establish the different things. You can choose privacy settings or language of this profile. Today LinkedIn allows you to create your profile in different languages, and when a recruiter goes and have your the view of your profile, he can choose one of the languages that you have in which you have built your profile. So first step, create your profile, establish the privacy settings, and choose your language. I also stress the importance of your language because LinkedIn, it is mainly an Anglophone social network. Maybe if you are a Francophone, French speaker, you are going to choose maybe another channel. You will choose your channel anyway, considering the employer that you are targeting. If you know that your employer is a French speaker, LinkedIn is not the best tool, I think. It might be Viadeo, for example. But anyway, you have to you better do a little study to understand where your employer is investing in which social network is investing himself. Then, second stage, in order to optimize your profile views, first thing is to choose your picture, the picture that you are going to use from yourself. Or if you are not comfortable by using a picture, you might prefer to use an image, a landscape picture or something like that. Whichever is the case, I think that in social networks you are there because you are showing yourself. If you are showing yourself, whether you choose to use your picture or a landscape or a cartoon or something, but you have to give the image of yourself. Then, second point is to use the right title for your actual positions. What I want to say is that if you are a job seeker, you've better, personally, I prefer to write down clearly that I am a job seeker looking for new challenges on my professional life, for example. But you have to write it in the right way. I mean, job seeker, that's all. It is not very sexy for recruiters. If you write down looking for new professional challenges, everyone has understood that you are looking for a job, but that you have the motivation and that for you it is only a stage. So think about the way that you are going to describe into a title your actual position. Then third step, work on an appealing summary. What I mean is that when you have a profile view, The first thing that you see is the picture, the title of the actual position, and then a little summary. This little summary must show your biography, and this little summary is the point that have the most chances to be read. So work on it and use the keywords, make it appealing in order to make recruiters give you an interview, for example. And afterwards, when you're going to build it up into details, have a look to all possible sections. In the last years, LinkedIn has evolved very, very much, and there are multiple sections that allows you to write down and express every professional activity that you have done, that you might have done, whether during your professional life or on your engagements out of your professional life, the volunteering that you might have done, the articles, many things. So have a look to all of them and use the right section for the right experience. Then give your references. Means that LinkedIn, it is a network, and so maybe I guess that in most of the projects you have not done them on your own. You were collaborated with someone, and maybe that someone is also on LinkedIn and it is part of your network. You can today write down your professional experience and settle and say with whom you have done this experience. This is a way of giving references of yourself, and this is a way, a very useful way for recruiters to find references. So use it, and don't be afraid of writing down that who was your boss at that for that personal for that particular experience, because maybe that is going to improve your profile views indeed, and maybe those references are indeed relations of your future employer. That is the whole added value of LinkedIn as a professional network. And then create connectivity. LinkedIn allows you to establish, to declare which are your other social media profiles, which are the internet websites that you use the most, or which is the professional website of your institution. Create connectivity, because those clicks that you might get on those links that you are going to write down on your LinkedIn profile are going to make your profile much better findable through Google, for example. So getting clicks on your profile improves very much your profile views, and also your findable status for Google, and also into LinkedIn, of course. Then, first stage, LinkedIn is a professional network that allows you to interact. So, interact is a way of making your profile active and then findable. There are different things that you can do, which are from very easy things to much more elaborate things. I'm going to go through all of them. So, first thing that you can do is to join groups of your interest. Then that is the easiest thing. You can make contacts, which is also the easiest thing, by the way. You can like an update, as in the same way as you do it in Facebook. You can share news, comment on a content. You can start a group discussion or publish a post. If you want to find the groups of your interest, you can do different things. You can find them in different ways. First of all, up there you have the search engine of LinkedIn, where you can choose if you are looking for a job or for a group or for a person. That is the basic thing. Let me try to use the pointer. Yes, there. That is the main search engine of LinkedIn. Then afterwards, your groups are going to appear here in interest. Up, you go to your groups, and then you go in that screen where LinkedIn suggests some groups to be discovered, for example. And it's going to make suggestions of groups that might interest you regarding to your the keywords of your profile. You can start by choosing those groups, and then little by little you are going to identify the groups that could be more useful for you. But through your updates, through the updates that you are going to see in your front page. Then you can make contacts. So making contacts is sending invitations to join your network, or accepting or refusing invitation that you have received. The main question that is asked in this stage of making contacts is, what about the invitations of people that I don't know? Personally, I think I feel very comfortable. I don't have any problem to go and have a look to that person's profile, to see and understand if that is relevant for my professional network, if that person is relevant or not for my professional network. And then you can answer, you can accept or refuse, and you can personalize the message that is going to be sent through LinkedIn. And then what about people that is inviting you? No, what about people that you don't know, but that you find interesting to join your network? If you find someone with this, in this case, you've better personalize the suggested message by LinkedIn. If I mean by that, when you click to send an invitation, LinkedIn sends a standard message. This person is inviting you to join his network. What you can do is to personalize it. I mean, if you find someone interesting, it's because you see a potential of future collaborations, or because you find the employer very interesting because it's on your interest in thematics, or by other reasons. Share it with that person. Explain to the person which is the objective of your invitation, and then if you are clear, you're going to get also a clear answer. Then you can like. So it is very easy. This is your timeline in LinkedIn, and there is the like sign as it is in Twitter. That means that your connections might find your update or your like when they'll open their LinkedIn profile. So then you can share an update. Usually in LinkedIn, what you share is an update on the subject that you are following up the latest news. You can find it there. That is the screenshot of the opening of your LinkedIn profile, and then sharing an update. It is there. Okay, then you can comment. That is a very, very powerful option of LinkedIn. It means that some of your connections, or a second degree connection, has shared an update, or has started a group discussions about, for example, the impact of I don't know, new fertilizers in the future of agriculture. And usually this group discussion is a question mark, and then with a position or with a comment of an article, with a digest of an article in the post, then you can comment. If you click there, you are going to be able to answer and give your view on the subject, or maybe answer and suggest other sources of information. And then, so in the same way, you can start yourself a group discussion. If you start a group discussion, it is maybe because you are already working, and you are trying to find a new professional contacts in a new country where your company is exploring, or you are trying to find new methodologies in X subject. The group discussions are very useful because all the members of the group are sharing a common interest, and so they can have this information. And you can ask the community. It is done for that. People will comment on the discussion that you have started. And then the most elaborated stage of interaction in LinkedIn is publishing a post, which the option, you can find it there at the opening of LinkedIn. Publishing a post will help you if you write something about a subject that you handle very well, in which you are an expert, for example. The published post can help recruiters understand which is the heart of your skills and competences. The post can also help you to build and showcase, so the employer your employer's image. So you can publish a post about a success story of your company, for example. It depends. So you can use it in two different ways: for boosting your professional profile, or for showcasing your employer's work. So, where to find the job offers in LinkedIn? You can find it once again with the main search engine of LinkedIn, as I have said before. And in this main engine, you see here that you can choose to look for people or jobs or companies, etc. So if you click and go to look for jobs, what you see is the job search tool of LinkedIn, which is quite powerful. You see here on the right side, it allows you to share. Let me see it. Voilà. Allows you to save jobs, to create job alerts, and to apply for job positions. And also, it allows you to discover jobs that are posted in your network. Means that in LinkedIn you can follow employers' pages, and those pages can be used by employers to post new job offers. And so LinkedIn identify those new job positions in your network. But if you have an employer to whom you want to work with all your heart, you can go directly to their LinkedIn page. For example, I have used the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation pages, and on the recent updates, you can see the job positions that have been published. How can you find these companies pages? You go to your interest, and then you choose companies. It is in the same space where you can find your groups. Then another way of finding job offers on LinkedIn is into the different group discussions. Sometimes very particular skills and competences are hard to be found if you publish your job offers in very generalistic websites. So sometimes recruiters publish job offers into LinkedIn groups where they know that they are going to they can find candidates with those skills and competences. But then be careful, because after all these different tools that only LinkedIn offers you, you might stay the whole day in front of your computer looking for job positions and finding tons of them, but not being really efficient. So if you want to be efficient and stay alive during your job search, you have to establish a plan. So main first point, what are the objectives, your objectives of being active on social media? So your objective can be to have a job into a particular country, for example, or to get a job with a particular employer, or to get a job into a particular thematic. So I have given these examples. Depending on your target employers, you have to identify them. So once you have identified them, more or less, if you want to use social media, you have to understand and identify which are the social networks that your potential employers are using. Maybe it is LinkedIn, as I was saying before. Maybe it is Viadeo, another French professional social network. Maybe it is Twitter. So this will help you to identify in which networks, social media networks, you have to be active. And then a very interesting point, very powerful approach is to see if employees of your target employer are active on social media too, because those employees can be a way to approach your employer, and those employees are aware about new positions that will be open in the coming future. So you go and see if they are active on social media too, and you go and see, and that is the best power of social media, if you have connections in common with them. If you have those connections in common, you go and you call to your friend and I see that you are in contact with someone which is working for example, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Can you give me his contact? I am interested in working with them. No. So that is the power of social media. Second point, you get to know their language. I mean by that someone which is personally, I am a professional in agriculture, so I know those acronyms that are used in my environment, but those acronyms that are used in the agricultural professional world are not the same of the ones used in communications technologies, for example. So if I want to get a job into a new field, you have to get to know their language, and you have to use the keywords of that environment in your profile. so that your profile becomes relevant to the employer and to the field that you are targeting. Afterwards, you can go and see what are the kind of skills and competences that they are looking for. You can go and see them, identify them in previous job offers. I mean by that sometimes we see, oh no, that job position is already closed. It is still valuable for you because you can see what are the kind of skills and competences, the profile that is requested by that employer. And then indeed learn their acronyms so that you understand in a potential job interview what are they speaking about. And then you can use these different channels to approach them in order to land an interview. But as I was saying before, you can find tons of job offers on LinkedIn, and even more if you do your job search through Google. Keep track of those search. Here is a tool that I created for track keeping of my job search. So in the first column, you write down the kind of search that you have done. So I put in my search engine agroecology Nigeria. Okay, so you write the theme that you put on the search, and then slash and the search engine that you used. Maybe it was the one of Google, maybe it was the one of LinkedIn, or the one of Twitter, etc. Then that was your first result that you explored. Okay, when was that? Okay, did you find a job offer as such or not? Did you find a contact, or did you identify the way that you can get in contact with that employer? Do you think it is feasible or not? That in order to give you an idea of the amount of energy that you should invest on that result. And then is there a resource person that was identified? When I say resource person, is I mean those people, those persons that can help you to get in contact directly with the employer, further than an email, a simple email. Maybe you can write down there the employers that you found on social media, maybe your second degree connections, and so in order to help you to keep that in mind and get in contact with them before applying directly to the employer. And then, did you make an application or not? Did you make already a contact or not? When was that? Did you get an answer or not? And then what to do? The to do after. Okay, so this is going to help you to keep track of your job search. As you see here in the different sheets, you can use it if you are, for example, use one sheet for your objective of working in agroecology, for example. Here, for your objective of working with an international NGO, for example. And here for your objective of working in Nepal. And then this is a very simple tool that is going to help you. And it's going to help you too, maybe when you get a phone call for a job interview and you say, oh my God, I can't remember who was this person. You go to your computer, you have a look to it, and you say, okay, this was the person that I contacted one month ago. Okay, for this position, okay, and then it helps you to remind yourself. of your different applications. If we go and see, if we go to Twitter, so Twitter, I'm not sure that you have already a Twitter account, but this is the first stage. So very simple, email, password. Now maybe Twitter is going to ask you about your mobile phone. It is not a problem of writing down, giving your mobile phone to Twitter, because it can help you to recover your password in case you forget it. And this can be something that happens if you, for example, if you are traveling in a foreign country and that you are not taking your computer with you, you are just on a cyber cafe, and you go, oh, register in Twitter, I forgot my password. Twitter is going to identify that you are not in a secure connection, and it's going to send you an SMS instead of sending you an email. So it is useful, and I don't think it can be dangerous. So when you are setting up your profile, again, you need to put down, give the image of yourself. So whether a picture of yourself or a landscape again, or maybe a very cute animal or whatever that you want to show from you. And on Twitter you can also choose a background photo or picture, which is a banner that is going to be shown when someone have a look to your profile. In that banner you can, it is not compulsory to choose something really crucial, but it can help you to improve and to give further details of yourself. And then you write down your biography, which is also done in the way that Twitter works, in a very short message. So you can use 160 characters. In that biography, you can connect with your other social media profiles. For example, you can give the short URL of your LinkedIn profile if you want to use Twitter in a professional way. Maybe you can give there also the website of the association you are working for example, or the link to your blog that you are having. Anyway, once again, remember that giving links on your different profiles get the potential clicks on your profile that make it better findable and that make it very active. So give the much of links that you can give, that will also show who you are indeed. So the basics of Twitter and the basics of the vocabulary. I'm not sure if this stage is necessary, but just in case. First point is when we see the @ in Twitter, that is a username, and when we see the hashtag, that is a keyword, which okay, I'll speak about that afterwards. Then in Twitter you have the famous following here and followers there. So followers are the other Twitter accounts that are following your updates and your messages, and the followings are those accounts that you are following and that build up the Twitter's timeline, which is this space over here. In the timeline you can see the shared messages of your following, of the accounts that you are following. Then what can you do on Twitter? You can follow. It is very easy. You just go, just see an account and you click on the button follow, And so that means that your timeline is going to be fed by those accounts. Sorry. Then, in the same way, your messages will feed the timeline, your followers' timeline. So, when you retweet, what happens is that you share others' messages with your community. And then what it happens is retweeting is like making the messages go up into the timeline. So you make it, maybe the message was shared some time ago, and you make it visible again in the present time. When you retweet, you can add comments. I'll show you that afterwards. Once again, in Twitter, you can like in the same way as Facebook propose you, but these likes are only seen by the person who made the message. The person, when you click on like, gets an alert, or yes, a message saying that you have liked that particular tweet. You can answer to a tweet, which is like making a comment on a tweet that someone made before, and you can tweet. So you can share your own message with your community. The rule of Twitter's rule is 140 characters. And the last point is the private messages. Twitter allows you to send private messages that are not seen by the whole community, only to people who is also following you. You can send private messages to the accounts that you are following if those accounts are also following you. Okay, so how can you see that in the screen? This is your timeline. Okay, here is an icon for tweeting. There is a second one that you can see here, and then the other things that you can do in Twitter are in this line. This is for answering a tweet, this is for retweeting, this is to like, and then these three little dots are very interesting because you can, when you click on them, you can maybe erase a tweet that you have done and that you made it by mistake, and you can also see the tweets, your tweets activity. You can see by how many people was it was it seen, and how many times the tweet get an interaction. So just it is interesting to know. So how does it look like a tweet? First thing is in this side you can see the user that made the tweet and how long ago was the tweet done. Here, for example, this is the whole message in the 140 characters. Into a tweet you can see relevant users for the message and a shortened URL. And so that means that this account, the Fiat account, is sharing how forest monitoring goes global, and what is giving you is the opportunity to click there and go to the website, and what it is telling you is that this account was at the origin of that tool that is being shown. Then, as I was saying, here you see the tweets activity. You can see that it has been retweeted 5 times and liked 1 time. So you have understood the important thing in Twitter is to build up your community. If you want to use Twitter in a professional way, you have to build a relevant community for your professional objective. So at the beginning, maybe you can begin following just Twitter's suggestions. It usually proposes some newspapers or some TV accounts or things like that, quite general. But be careful about letting Twitter find your email contacts to invite them to join Twitter. This is an advice that I give you, whether for LinkedIn or for Twitter, for every social media that you are profile that you want to create. Don't allow these channels to use your email contacts, because it is not very professional to let everyone get an email to invite them to join Twitter. I don't know if it is still done by these engines, but at the very beginning of LinkedIn it was done, and I didn't find it very professional. So you've better create your contacts afterwards and find people afterwards, and not because of the suggestions that Twitter find in your email contacts addresses. Then you can use the search in Twitter. Twitter has also a search engine like LinkedIn. You can search accounts by using the @ sign, and you can search for accounts by using the hashtag that is going to give you the accounts using a certain hashtag, and so tweeting into about a certain subject. So when you are beginning to create your community, a very simple tip is to see, the main you are going to know the main institutions that are relevant in your professional environment or within your professional objective. You'll see that account, and you'll have a look to the individuals, or to the private accounts of persons that those institutions are following, because following is usually giving credibility to the person indeed. So if an institution is following an individual, that means that the individual is relevant for them, and so for you. And another tip is to follow those people that target their subject, and avoid those accounts that tweet too much. Sometimes maybe you are going to find an account about communications job, and that is an account that is going to publish all job opportunities found through Twitter, and that account is just going to how do you say that? To flood your timeline, and you are not going to get relevant tweets of other accounts that you are following indeed. So you've better, you will experiment, but you've better follow accounts that are not tweeting too much. And then the principle is that when you see one account that is relevant for you, you can go and see the people that they are following, and little by little one led to another. And so in this way you can build your own community. And so now you are just flooded of under so much information. How can Twitter be useful on my job search? So what? But remember that I stress once again that through Twitter you get deep information that is available in the web, that it is being unexplored by most of the main users of the internet, and you make yourself different. Means that indeed Twitter only, I think I read 30%, only 30% or even 10% of Twitter accounts are active indeed. So means that if you are someone active in Twitter and that you tweet relevant information, you are going to be seen and you are going to be different of the others. Once again, the risk is the same that you can have with LinkedIn, getting too much information. A very oh, sorry, I'm getting one question. So, how can you increase your post on Twitter to reduce bad meaningful post? Okay, I'll go through that question at the end. There are just a few slides remaining. If you want to digest the tons of information that you can find through Twitter, because you'll see that it is a very powerful tool and that you will get tons of information. Simple tool are the list. So you are following a relevant institution for you, so the CIAT, for example, and when you go to see their profile, you see this list. When you go to that list, what it means is that you can select the tweets of only the members of that list. So you click into the list that is useful for you. You see the list members, you subscribe, and then when you go to your profile, you see this is my profile. I go to my list. This is the list where I have subscribed. I see the members, and so here I see only the tweets of the accounts that were in that list. So in this way, when you are using Twitter for your job search, you can go open your Twitter account, go to your list and see what are the latest tweets of your list that I have called jobs or emploi in French. That will be a kind of good way of digesting the tons of information that you can get through Twitter. But for me, the use of Twitter in your job search, it's very particular because Twitter, as you have seen in the figures that I have given before, is not being used by recruiters as that much for posting job offers. For me, the potential of Twitter is very clearly if you are looking for a job as a community manager or in very innovative areas. Of course, if you approach employers through Twitter, you are going to be very relevant for the employer indeed. But in a general way, I think that Twitter is useful to better understand the employer's brand, and so to get deep information of how do employers recruit and what is the kind of work that they do. Then, if you want to do good tweets, to answer to the question, I think that at the beginning, the very important thing is to share relevant information. And if you are not sure about your position about the subject, you can just ask a question to your community. Then, for example, about the subject of GMOs, you see an article, you see the position of that article. Maybe you are against or you are for, but you share that article because you find it interesting, and you ask the community, do you think the position of this article fits you, or do you think the position of this article will have a positive impact on the future, or something like that? So asking questions is very interesting because you inspire answers to get answers. In a stage, in a more high level stage, the important thing into a tweet is to make it active, as well as you can make your profile active by giving links of that can be clicked into a tweet. You can do the same thing. When you add the hashtags, they can be clicked, and so they made your tweet active. When you add hashtags, when you add other accounts, when you try to interact with another account, and of course when you give him pictures or an image, something to be visual, your tweet is much more active, and so with more chances to be seen. I hope I answered to the question. So last message: when you're looking for a job, it is a full-time job, and it can be really stressing and discouraging, and so it can be a hard period. For that, in order to keep on being efficient during that period, you have to organize your daily schedule. As you have seen 2 times in the presentation, I said that you can really get tons of information that, and with those tons of information, the risk is to remain the whole day in front of your computer and not being efficient. I think that a good strategy is to organize yourself by saying, okay, I will search in the morning, I will work, and so prepare my applications in the afternoon. So don't pass the full day in front of the computer, because it is not efficient, and at the end your objective is to get a job interview. So the more you interact with other people about what are you looking for, what are the offers that you have seen, what are your professional objectives, the better you be prepared for the job interview. And so make an effort to keep in contact with the real life and to see people, to be ready for a future interview. And as I was saying, with my presentation, you will be able to use LinkedIn and Twitter, but you might also would like to use bookmarkings in your job research. That is up to you. It is something. It is a tool that I advise to use for job seekers, because they make interesting websites easily available and follow a healthy lifestyle. I mean, keep motivation during all this period. Go and do some physical exercise, engage yourself in associations, do some volunteering, so that during that this period that it is kind of empty into brackets, you can show that you are not only looking for a job, but that you are also working, even if you don't have a salary position. It is very, very positive for a recruiter to see that you remain active in other engagements. And that's all. I hope it was interesting for you. Maybe you have some questions or comments. You can use the chat for making your question, which is in your right hand side. You see this dialogue. Okay. So if there are no more questions about apart from the one that I already answered, I thank you very much. Oh, sorry. How many? Do you have any data on how many LinkedIn subscribers have actually obtained a job from a job vacancy found on LinkedIn? And have you come across any survey regarding jobs from people on LinkedIn rather than recruiters? Um, I think that in this thank you, Srinka. I think that in my reference you might find some of those. I'm very sorry because it we cannot see it very clear. Um, you might see some testimonials about people who found a job through LinkedIn. I don't have figures, but precise figures of a particular survey, but I know that around me already some of my professional contacts have been contacted by headhunters through LinkedIn. When you are when you already have some years of professional experience that you are building skills and competences in a particular field, recruiters that are looking on that particular field don't hesitate to contact people through LinkedIn. So it is not very it is not rare. It is something that is happening. Those are the references of my presentation that you can find in English and in French, just in case. And uh, another question is that what is your favorite social media tool and what is the best that worked for you in the past? Uh, from my experience, the best tool was LinkedIn by far, and because I found the opportunity to join an international platform that is called YPAD, Young Professionals for Agricultural Research and Development, and I found them on LinkedIn in 2010. So I made some contacts with them, and indeed I am now representing this association here in France, and it has given me the opportunities to go and participate to some international conferences in the field of agriculture, which has enabled me to get a new to enlarge my professional network, and that was through LinkedIn. In a second stage, now I am investing a little bit more also in Twitter, um, because I see that there is a huge potential to share information and to get credibility. I don't know if it is the word, in the eyes of potential employers. So those are my favorite social media tool. Okay, so if you have to give a single tip to new graduates of this year regarding job search, what would that be? Um, okay, I think it was a very interesting question because I think I didn't say it through my presentation, but indeed the power of social media is that they are networks. And so, as a new graduates, the very most important point for starting their professional career is to begin building up their professional network from the end, from their graduation. So to keep in contact with the lecturers that they have found, with people that have been with them in internships, and so keep in contact with them, and afterwards, of course, try to find new opportunities in this social media. But uh, first of all, beginning to create their professional network from their graduation, because job opportunities begin there. Hmm. Okay, I think there are no more questions. Thank you very much for spending this time with me. It was very interesting, new experience for me too. Don't hesitate. I think that you have somewhere my contact. Don't hesitate to ask me some questions if you like to, and I'll be glad to answer you, and maybe see you soon. Thank you to you all.